Hey guys! So today I'm going to show you how to make this super duper easy cowl. It took me 15 minutes to do on my knitting machine. I did not use a ribber, I just did a flatbed knitting machine. The yarn that I used today is a Super Saver Red Heart yarn. It's the ombre. Let's see, the color is Hot Sauce. You can see these are nice fall colors. It's nice and cozy warm. It is a number 4, the worsted weight, and it's 100% acrylic. All right, so let's get going. Okay, so for our scarf, I have cast on 30 needles and about 8 rows of waste yarn. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to use a Ravel cord. And this is going to help just to remove my waste yarn from my project when we're done. So what I'm going to do with this, I have a clothespin on the end of it. I'm going to thread this into my machine. And all I'm going to do is hold this so that it's tensioned as I knit across. Okay, so now I have a Ravel cord in here. I'm going to just let that hang. And I am going to thread my machine now with my main yarn and go ahead and knit. And so what I'm going to do for this scarf, I have my 30 stitches and we are going to knit a whole bunch of rows. Basically, you're going to knit until either you run out of yarn or it gets to the length that you prefer. So for this infinity scarf, I am going to knit probably to over 100 rows. I'm on tension 5 and I'm just going to knit for a while until I get about the length that I want. Remember, an infinity scarf would typically go around your neck twice, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to reset my row counter just so I can let you guys know how many rows I ended up knitting. Okay, so I am at 105 rows. And I think I'm going to have to do about double this. So I'm going to hang some more weight on my project because this is about to hit the floor down here. And I'm going to continue to at least row 200. Mistake, you're going to want to stop and rip out those rows and reset your row counter. Okay, I'm at row 210. Here's what's on the floor. And I'm going to stop here. And what we're going to do, as you can see, these sides roll in as you get knitting. You can tell, quite a lot once your weights are off, that it rolls a lot. And so to keep it from rolling, what we're going to do is sort of a kind of ribbing, more of a mock ribbing. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a 5x1 mock ribbing. I'm going to leave 2 of these needles here and I'm going to pull 1 forward. Then I'm going to skip 4 and I'm going to pull the 5th out. Skip 4, pull the 5th out. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to pull these right off and we are going to undo this row. The whole thing, all the way to the very end, all the way to our Ravel cord. Okay, we're going to do that for all 5 of these. And I will show you our next step and how that looks when I'm finished. Okay, so I have finished that part. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the end of my work and I am going to put all of these stitches down here back up onto my machine, onto these latches. So what I'm going to do to find the stitch that I want is I'm going to actually look at my Ravel cord. And for me, my Ravel cord is white. And I'm going to pick up the bar that is in between my Ravel cord. That one that I just picked up is actually my second one. I will try to pick up that stitch on the end, but that can be a tricky stitch to get. So then when I get this really long loop, I'm also going to pull up that loop that I dropped off. I'm going to put them both back on. And then remember, I'm going in between my Ravel cord stitches. Okay, so when I did this, I needed to put my big loop on 2 needles. So I did that, and then I grabbed those 3 bars, and then the next big loop was on 2 needles. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to knit across one. I pulled all my needles out, I pushed everything back against my machine, and I'm going to knit 1 row. You might be able to see when I do that all of my yarn is getting split, so I'm just going to close those and my brushes will open them when they get there, and this will help my project to not fall off the machine. Okay, so there we are, and now what I'm going to do to bind off, I'm going to cut my yarn and I'm going to do a loop through loop bind off. So this is where our yarn ended. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the other end of our scarf. I'm going to pull all my needles out. It just makes it a little bit easier. And I am going to put my first loop on my latch tool. I'm going to push my latch tool up so that my loop is below my latch. And then I am going to grab the next needle, push through, and that loop I'm going to pull through my first loop. Okay, then I'm going to push my latch needle up, grab my second loop, pull that through. I'm going to continue this. Push my latch tool up, grab the next loop, and pull through. We're going to do that until the end, and then when we get to the end, we're just going to pull our string through, and that will secure our yarn. Okay, now that we're to our last stitch, I'm going to do the same thing. So we're just going to pull that string through now. I have a really long string. Okay, so there is the end of our scarf. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can pull out our Ravel cord. I'm just going to pull on that until it comes all the way through. And then once we get that through, there we go, your waste yarn just comes right off. Your Ravel cord is off, and now you are left with your sweater. So now we have You have the end you started with, the end you ended with. I'm just going to knot those, and then I am going to weave those through here, and I am done. And there's our infinity scarf. If you are looking for some more projects for your flatbed knitting machine, let me know in the comments what you want to see, what project you want to work on next. I would love to do a knit along with me to show you one of your favorite projects. So choose your favorite project and give your knitting machine some love this week.